Tim Walz just stepped on a political landmine, and boy, did it explode. During a fundraiser at Gavin Newsom's mansion, he made a shocking comment about getting rid of the Electoral College. He said it out loud. It sparked a firestorm of criticism. What's the fallout, and could it damage the campaign? I, for one, thank God that Kamala and Walz don't know how to shut the hell up when they say things to let the American people know how truly dark and how truly evil they are, and how much they hate the American people and hate our Constitution. So we're going to get into Walz's comments about ending the Electoral College and what makes it so damaging to every red-blooded American. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back. So subscribe, hit the notification bell, and smack that like button. It helps us with the algorithm. Also, we're doing a live stream tonight at 6 o'clock Eastern time. We're going to read some interesting news stories of the week. We're going to tweak them with a bit of humor, a dash of sarcasm, and a whole lot of conservative common sense. I hope you join us. You'll have a good time, too. So, Tim Walz walked into Gavin Newsom's mansion, and before the canopies were even passed around, he declared, "We need a national popular vote." Then he doubled down by saying, "I think all of us know the Electoral College needs to go." Now, talk about lighting the fuse on a political dynamite stick. Now, don't get me wrong. The Electoral College has been a topic of debate for years. Hillary Clinton's first bill that she proposed as a senator was to get rid of the Electoral College. But what makes this moment so explosive is that Walz's comments came at a time when tensions are already high in the country. Could this signal a major shift in the Democratic strategy? I ask that because, make no mistake about it, when you are a politician and you bring up the fact that you believe that the Electoral College has to go, then you really mean it. You're not just saying it to get the leftist billionaires to write a check. You really mean that you want to get rid of the Electoral College. Now, the fallout was immediate. The Trump campaign and the GOP jumped all over Walz's comments like a dog on a bone. Trump campaign press secretary Caroline Leavitt wasted no time asking if Walz was trying to lay the groundwork to claim President Trump's victory as illegitimate. Now, that's what they did in 2016 when Hillary created the Russia thing. I mean, can you imagine if the whole Hillary thing happened again, where Trump wins the Electoral College, but Kamala wins the popular vote? Although now it's looking like Trump may win the popular vote as well. So what kind of violence do you think the left will put this country through if that happens? I want you to write down your comments down below on that. And as you'd expect, the damage control was swift. A Harris-Walz campaign spokesperson quickly clarified that Walz believes that every vote matters in the Electoral College, and he is honored to be traveling the country and battleground states working to earn support for the Harris-Walz ticket. Sure. Except that's not what he said, spokesperson. He said, "I think all of us know the Electoral College needs to go and that we need a national popular vote." That's what he said. It's like when a kid breaks a vase and then tells you, "Mom, I was just testing gravity." Right, buddy, sure you were. Walz said it, everyone heard it, but the spokesperson tried to mop up the mess like they were handling a soda stain on the carpet instead of a mountain of horse shit. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. While the campaign official confirmed that eliminating the Electoral College isn't their official position, it would certainly be on the table for a Harris-Walz administration. Can you believe this? So are we looking at the beginning of a campaign stance reversal? I mean, Walz's comments have more flip-flops than the boardwalk in Atlantic City, and voters are left dizzy from all the contradictions. And then you have the top of the ticket, Heels Up Harris, who is always for banning fracking until a month before the election, who always promised to get rid of guns until a month before the election when she said she's a gun owner and that she would shoot anyone who comes into her home, to Oprah. This is a woman who completely left the border open for 4 years, but now says that it was all Donald Trump's fault and she's going to strengthen the border security if elected. Let's rewind for a second. This isn't the first time Walz has backpedaled on controversial statements. Just days earlier on 60 Minutes, his running mate Kamala Harris advised him to be more cautious when speaking. Imagine being told by Kamala Harris to think before speaking. That's like being told by a snail to move a little faster, will you? And here's the thing. Walz has already been under fire for his misrepresentations of his military status and his whereabouts during the 1989 Hong Kong protests. But back to the main issue, the Electoral College. It's a fundamental part of our Constitution, not some antique piece of furniture you can toss out during a garage sale. Any change to it would require a constitutional amendment. But today's Democratic Party seems to think that they could just put it to a vote in Congress and poof, it's gone. The modern Democratic Party no longer believes in the Constitution and only cites it when it helps them in one of their little death by 1,000 cuts to America. They don't care about due process. They don't care about a constitutional system. And so naturally, they will push for an amendment to change the Constitution when donkeys fly. I mean, they want to get rid of the Electoral College. I mean, their president, Joe Biden, was told by the Supreme Court that he did not have the authority under the Constitution to give student loan forgiveness, but he went all over the country giving a speech where he said, screw the Supreme Court. He wasn't going to listen to them, and he was going to continue to do it. For votes, the Democrats of today are not your grandfather's Democrats. Calls to abolish the Electoral College have only grown since 2016 and the 2020 elections, when the popular vote didn't match the electoral vote. But what does that really mean? The Electoral College was an ingenious idea by our founding fathers so that no matter what the population of a state is, the state will be relevant in the election process for national office. If we go by the popular vote, then think about it. California, Illinois, and New York basically get to pick the president every single time. The concerns of the smaller states completely drowned out. Presidential candidates wouldn't even go to those states to campaign. They wouldn't need to. Instead of unifying with the message being sent by all 50 states through the Electoral College, the Democrats want democracy, which means mob rules. Majority wins. They demand a popularity contest. Now you know why they constantly say we live in a democracy when we do not. We live in a constitutional republic, but try to explain that to a libnut. So remember, folks, the Electoral College ensures that every state, big or small, has a voice. The system isn't perfect, but it's been a cornerstone of the American Republic since the beginning. So when Walz says we need a national popular vote, he's essentially saying that only a few big states should matter. And let's not forget that recent Pew Research Center survey showing 63% of Americans favor the popular vote. That number isn't an indictment on the Electoral College. It's an indictment on our government monopolized public education system, where the importance and brilliance of the Electoral College are rarely taught because the faculties in these Democrat-dominated public schools also want the popular vote. So what's the takeaway here? Walz has made it crystal clear that if he had it his way, the Electoral College would be out the window. The Harris-Walz campaign may try to spin it 1,000 different ways, but his comments are already out there, etched in the minds of the voters. The Harris-Walz campaign says screw you to smaller states because you don't matter in their eyes. So I think those smaller states should give them a lesson of the power of the Electoral College on November 5th by voting for Trump-Vance. All right. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to be kept up to date with all things political and news. I'll see you in the next one. Spread the word.